All right, guys, welcome to another episode of the Practical Profits interview series. And this week we are focusing all on Women Who Wow members. And today I get to start with Lisa Smith of TheMindTrainingCenter.com. I have known Lisa for many years. She was actually part of my very first live in-person event, a group known affectionately as the Sensational Six. It was an amazing group. She is driven. She's a coach who is the real deal. She's one of the only coaches I ever refer to, a business coach, one of the only ones I ever refer to because I trust her, not just her integrity, but her expertise and her strategy. So what this means for me is she always does what she says she's going to do. She is a successful business owner, so she's not teaching you something she hasn't yet achieved. She is operating without convenient safety nets of a full-time job or a husband or a trust fund, which I totally appreciate. And she's just honest, authentic, and just an all-around super woman in business. So I'm so excited to have her on today and kind of take some of what she's up to and what she's going to be up to and share it with the Women Who Wow world and just let people know what she's up to and how you can connect with her. So welcome, Lisa. Really excited to have you here.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here. Thanks, Michelle.
Good. So was there anything I should have added to that introduction? I never let people see my introduction before I do it. So is there anything you wish I had said?
No, that was perfect.
Good. So I'd love for you to tell people about your business, sort of what you're up to and what you accomplished in 2016.
Okay. Well, my business has expanded over the years. And so originally I started out, I refer to myself as a computer programmer for the human brain.
Awesome.
So basically I help and teach people to use their brains more effectively to help to change habits, to establish better habits, how to reach more of their peak potential. You've probably heard that saying that most people only use less than 10% of their brain's capacity. So I'm trained in a variety of neuroscience techniques like hypnotherapy, neurolinguistic programming, emotional freedom technique. And I use those and teach people how to use them for themselves so that they can tap more into that other 90%. So like I was saying, my business has morphed over the years. And originally I just started out doing hypnotherapy and then was working for a hypnosis clinic before I transitioned into my practice full time and incorporated some of these other techniques. And so starting off with the personal and wellness coaching for weight loss and smoking cessation and stress management, pain management, those kinds of things. And then as I went out on my own full time, I was running into other business owners who were really good at what they did. They were really passionate about it, but they had no business training or background. I do have a degree in marketing, so that helped a bit when I went out on my own. But a lot of it was just learning as I went. And so I started to share some tips with those people about things that were helpful for me and then incorporated in, along with the practical tips, incorporated in the mindset element as well, because we can know what to do, but not do it or not doing it effectively because we've got the inner gremlins and negative dialogue and fears and things going on. So incorporating the mindset shifting with the practical elements of how to run a business, how to do sales and marketing effectively, that type of thing. And then this past year, I have rebranded my company because I'm expanding into corporate and organizational training to teach these things to groups and organizations. So what went from Life by Design LLC is now rebranded as the Mind Trainings, it's actually the Coaching Center for Mind Training and Success, but the website is shorter than that.
Yeah, good.
So that's the mindtrainingcenter.com. And that people can get to all three of my areas of expertise through that one website. So awesome. Depending on what they're looking for.
Awesome. So can we just delve in just a little bit? Because one of the things that I love about you and what you bring to WOW is that part where there's lots of people who would be watching this and they would say, there's lots of things I know I need to do or I should be doing. And for whatever reason, I'm not doing them, right? It's just not happening. I know kind of how to do it. I feel like it would be the next step. I feel like it would be what would bring my business to the next level. And for some reason, something always happens, or I somehow let myself off the hook, or it just doesn't get done. So can you maybe give us an example of that and sort of tell people, give them some ideas of what could be at play for them in that resistance?
Right. Well, usually the number one thing is fear in some way. So we're afraid it's not going to work out. We're afraid of looking bad. We're afraid of rejection. We're afraid that it's going to be too hard, or it's going to take away from other things that are important to us. So the majority of it relates to fear. And what plays into that fear is what we call limiting beliefs. So that's the number one stopper, is negative internal beliefs like I'm not good enough, I'm not important, people don't want this, people won't pay for this. If I ask somebody to buy from me, they'll think I'm pushy or sleazy or needy, or all these different beliefs. And it just creates that fear of some kind of negative result or outcome, and then that holds them back from taking the action.
Yeah, I just want to kind of share one of the things that you've helped me with, because I would have been one that would say that I had no fear regarding success. And in truth, it wasn't, I didn't have a fear of failure, right? I didn't have a failure of ending up with egg on my face. Like I kind of accept that as like the price of doing business. I don't know. I if I'm not failing, I kind of, or even if my team, we had a team meeting this morning, if they're not failing, if they're not hitting against things, they're like, man, I don't know what's going on, then we're not doing enough. So I would have said, as you know, hands down, that's not an issue for me. But what it was for me was the fear of the success. And I would have denied that too, until I realized that some limiting beliefs I had were about success, right? That it would take away my family time, that it would overwhelm me, that I would feel like I wasn't in control anymore, that if I reached a certain, either sometimes it was a certain income level, sometimes it's a certain, just kind of reach, I guess, or influence within the growing body of women business owners. And I always felt like that limiting belief is that the more successful I got, the less control I would have over the things that matter most to me. And so you've helped me tremendously with that. I know you've helped a lot of our members with whatever those limiting beliefs are. But I wanted to throw that out there because I'm not sure how many women, and you might know more than me, but how many women would feel like, oh, I'm not afraid of failing, but there was a limiting belief about success that made me think, maybe not, right? Maybe I'm just kind of okay without it.
Right. So, oftentimes I'll ask people, so what's the downside of that? So it's something that they say they should be doing, they know they want to do, but they're not. I'd say, well, if you did that, what would be the downside to it? So that's one way to help to elicit what is that limiting belief. So for you, it's like, well, the downside would be I would, have to take away time from my family.
Right.
Or I'd be more open to, exposure and criticism. Or I would, I'd be working much harder and not enjoying it. Okay. So, and again, these are all just ideas. They're just, beliefs are not truths. And then it's a matter of, okay, now that we know what the limiting belief or the fear is, now we utilize some of these tools to help to change that, because sometimes just knowing it isn't enough to change it.
Right. Right. So awesome. So thank you for that. I think that will probably impact a lot of our members, and also just people within the Women Who Wow kind of community who aren't yet members. I think it'll really impact them. For me, just hearing that first time was like, wow, that's completely me. And so it was a huge eye opener for me. So I appreciate that. So can you tell us maybe something that you have planned for 2017? And just for people watching, I don't know what these answers are going to be. So I'm kind of just as excited to know as they are. So if you could just tell me what you have planned for 2017 so that we know kind of what to look forward to.
Sure. Well, the main thing is continuing the expansion into the training opportunity. So I've been, been making a lot of new connections, and so there's a lot of different things in the works with different organizations in the area, different the city, couple of city of Virginia Beach, city of Norfolk. I've been talking with them about some training for their employees or businesses in the area, and so expanding on that training and that speaking. And actually, I'm leaving for Atlanta in a couple of days to do a very intensive 4-day training.
Oh, good.
Specifically on speaking, not only the art, but also how to find more of those speaking gigs and how to get them booked. And so really looking forward to that. And then also I'm doing some very specific LinkedIn training to find those opportunities. So LinkedIn is the social media platform that I feel will best suit my pursuit in finding those speaking and training opportunities. So I'm doing a really great LinkedIn training class right now, specifically on that. Okay. And so that's the main thing for 2017 that I'm looking forward to. I've already got a few things, like I said, in the works, possibly booked. And also expanding beyond just me providing the training. So I've been in conversation with other people in the area who do training that's different than I do. But if I can create these relationships, and now that I'm SWAM certified and microbusiness certified, I have all these opportunities opening up to me and my company. So I can vet out other, consultants who can do the training, and I'll, put it together and get a portion of the fee, and then just pay the person to go and do the training. So awesome. It's really, expanding beyond just me as a company of one, and finding ways to leverage my time by, pulling other people in as consultants.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm excited about that. So can you share one thing, Women Who Wow's, overview or our goal for 2016 was, more income, more impact, and more influence. And so I was wondering if you could share a tip, a strategy, a tool, something you've done in this past year that has helped you increase all three: income, impact, and influence.
Well, I think one of the main things, and you're continually saying this, is, being really, really protective of your time, and especially with networking, because we can have this idea, just got to get in front of a lot of people. Well, that's not the case. You can be getting in front of a lot of people who aren't going to be helping you. So really, I've let go of some different networking groups that I was attending that it was no longer productive and wasn't my audience anymore. So letting go, so broadening my networking, but broadening it in a more specific way, so that I'm really making sure that I am spending my time in groups and speaking with people who are of that audience, either to be clients or can, refer me to other businesses. So I think that's the big thing. And then thinking bigger. Like I mentioned, go beyond myself as a company of one, having to do everything myself, and finding other people that I can bring in to do training and provide what I can't provide. But, being able to be a part of sort of brokering that and getting some extra income that way.
That's awesome. And just so we'll be covering this in November at the live meeting, but I just went to a big event down in San Antonio, Texas, and one of the things that we covered was some strategy or kind of some trends that we need to be kind of aware of going into 2017. And one of them is the desire for our audience to kind of have a one-stop shop, sort of a do it for you, do it all kind of thing. And so I think that what you're working on, it aligns fully with where people are headed, in that direction, wanting to buy. So I think that's really just smart of you, and says so much about just what you would, intuitively do with your business before, the media or whatever started jumping on the fact that this is where people are wanting to buy. But I love that, and I love your decision to keep networking, but obviously do it very deliberately. And one of the things I'm unveiling soon is sort of the Women Who Wow philosophy. And one part of the 4 is finicky association. And so I love that. And I love that about us in general, you and I, but I love that about our group. And I think it's really just something that we've all become more deliberate about, and sort of to our credit and to the benefit of our bottom line. So love that you brought that up. That finicky association is so awesome, I think, because it does protect our time, and it also helps make sure that the time that we are spending is actually profitable. So before we close, I was wondering if you had any words of wisdom for our WOW members, sort of, something you would leave them with, but also if you could tell why you chose WOW membership, because I know that that you're one of our best networked members. Frankly, you know everyone, and everyone knows and respects and loves you. So, what could you share with us, and why did you choose WOW?
Well, let me start with why I chose WOW. First of all, is for Michelle. So Michelle is WOW. And, I just love your no nonsense approach, and, kind of bare bones, just get straight to it. No fluff. You're not afraid of sort of, I can't think of a good way to say it, but snubbing your nose at the status quo. You're recognizing it's not, it's not helping. It's not effective. So, you're unapologetic about, your opinion, and not trying to, fit in with everybody else and how, how they're saying to do things. So I love that. Also with WOW, of course, it's local for me. So I love that, because I've had coaches and, I've had to travel a lot. So love it here. And everything that WOW provides. So you've really expanded that over the years, and in particular this past year. So the working pajama party I always love, and the local meetings that we do every quarter, the 4-hour virtual mastermind once a month, where we can get some coaching and get done. And
you are one of our most consistent members, and I just, how much I appreciate that. Just dramatically appreciate that, just with all of my heart. I love that. And I was wondering if you had something. I trust your opinion and your intuition and your strategy. Like I said before, I refer to you without reservation. And, I do it publicly. I do it privately as well. And so is there anything you can tell people who are watching this, if they do one thing in their business this week or this year, or change something to grow their business, what would you recommend that they do?
Well, I'm going to say 2 things, because I always focus on both the practical and the mindset.
Good.
Both are important. So with the mindset is finding ways to identify what your blockers are. Mm-hmm. I actually have a limiting beliefs assessment. Oh. If people are interested in that, they can just email me at lisa@themindtrainingcenter.com, and I'll be happy to just email that assessment to them.
I'll put that at the bottom. So if you're watching this video, that email link will be right below the video. So lisa@themindtrainingcenter.com.
Right. So I'd be happy to send that assessment, and then just filling that out gives you some aha moments. Yes. And then, working on, okay, how can I start to change this belief? And then the second thing, the practical is, that narrow networking, the finicky networking set. It really, really narrow down, find the groups who either have your ideal clients or know your ideal clients and are willing to, refer to you. And I've just made so many great connections this year because of doing that.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Lisa. For anybody watching, visit Lisa at themindtrainingcenter.com. You'll never regret getting to know her. Look through her blog. Definitely email her, and she can send you the link or the download or however she has it for the limiting beliefs assessment. I know I'm going to do that with you as soon as we get over this call. So really excited about that, and appreciate having you. Appreciate you. And I will see you soon at the next WOW event.
Great. Looking forward to it.
All right.
Bye,
Talk to
Michelle.
you soon. Bye.